wanted the best? You've got the best podcast, the hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
This is Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There are only things that makes official. Welcome to 17 years and 1,800 episodes of the Chris Voss Show. It's the Netflix of podcasting. You can go binge over there, whatever topic you want. There's hundreds of novelists, hundreds of psychologists, hundreds of doctors, hundreds of lawyers, probably. There's everybody over there on the Chris Voss Show. And you can just go listen to your heart's content. Someone should figure out how many hours that is of 2,800 episodes. I think they average about 40 minutes per. Anyway, guys, that's just all the more reason why you should refer the show to your family, friends, and relatives. He set that up on purpose. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, YouTube.com/Chris Voss, and I think I said Facebook.com/Chris Voss. And if not, I just did. We had an amazing young lady on the show with us today. We're going to be talking about her books and her insights. She's got a lot of books that she's written, and you're going to be just fully entertained reading through her library. Her book is entitled The House of Gourmet, A Dangerous Game, and it's part of the Special Agent Isabella Ashford crime series, out September 22nd, 2025. We're going to get into it with her and find out more. Dr. Monique Gliozzi is on the show with us today, or Gliozzi. I think I got it there the second time, didn't I, Monique?
Oh, it was perfect the first time.
Oh, there you go. Well, what I do is I just pronounce it as many different variations if I can, and then in editing they just figure out which one was right. Anyway, so welcome to the show. We're going to get into it with you. We're going to find out more about you. And you have been, you were born in Dublin, a graduate from the University of Western Australia Medical School, and you have a keen interest in forensic sciences. I mean, maybe like scientists too. And psychiatry. She works as a psychiatrist in Perth with ties to the UWA School of Psychiatry, where she had a role as a senior clinical lecturer. Her love for teaching granted her a nomination for an Excellence in Teaching Award in 2016. She also has an interest in aviation. She trained at the Royal Aero Club of Western Australia, where she obtained a commercial pilot license. Following this, she completed her instructor training and is now working on a casual basis as a senior flight instructor. I do that on planes too. I go up the pilot's thing and I go, hey, you turn left. And that's why I'm not allowed to fly anymore. I'm on the no-fly list. No, I'm not. Anyway, she recently rekindled her passion for writing, starting with fictional thriller Foresight, Hunted, and Vestige. Welcome to the show. How are you, Doc?
Hi, good morning. Just call me Monique. It's great. I'm really good. Really happy to be here, and lovely to meet you finally, Chris.
You're like a jack of all trades, and it's a pleasure to meet you as well. Give us your .coms. Where can you find people where can people find you on the interwebs?
So you can find me on my website. So if that's moniquegliozzi.com, and my email is monique.gliozzi@bigpond.com. And you can, email me. I'm happy to sort of answer any questions that the audience may have at a later date.
There you go. The House of Gourmet. Give us a 30,000 overview of what that's about.
So it was, well, let me tell you how the idea sort of came to me. I was watching some reels on YouTube, and this advertisement came up for these really cool Japanese kitchen knives, the Sakuto variety, and they're really, really, the handles are very ornate. The blades are extremely beautiful and sharp, obviously. And I thought to myself, I haven't really read or seen a movie about, a thriller relating to the culinary industry, which is very competitive, as we would know, especially the higher sort of bracket. And that sort of gave me the idea. And my dad also writes, but he writes in Italy, in Italian. He's Italian. And so he's published in Italy. So he said, hey, have you got a new book coming? What's happening? So I said, I've got an idea for a cookbook or a book about cooking. And he said, oh, that's great. Your mom's got great recipes. She'll give you the whole download. I'm like, no, I think it's going to be more of a thriller. He's like, oh, he was equally as excited. So as time went on, I got a few more ideas, and that's what I do. I jot them down wherever, even if I'm in the middle of a meeting, I might just jot an idea down if it comes to me. And this story takes place in New York City, in Manhattan. It's a thriller. It's not a slasher kind of thriller, even though there is a touch of horror. And it really sort of is about the sort of gourmet industry and the competitiveness in that industry, and really when loyalties and rivalries sort of collide. And it starts off with a gentleman called Jacques, and he's got French heritage, and he follows initially in his dad's footsteps, becoming, working on Wall Street. He gets really bored with that, and then decides he wants to follow his passion, which has always been food. So he quits and starts to go to culinary college and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, as time goes on, he becomes quite successful in this small little business venture that he's got with a couple of good friends of his, also chefs. One night on Thanksgiving Eve, unfortunately, of all times, he gets left for dead in a hit and run. He does survive, obviously, and but he doesn't fully recover from his injuries. So he's, debilitated. There's some disability, residual disability. So, however, he decides, okay, I'm going to make the most of life, and he literally branches out, becomes extremely successful in his industry, with French cuisine in particular. And he opens up, has enough funds to open up and nurture young talent in his new culinary college, the Academy of Jacques Vago, as I call it. And then he, has book deals. He's on TV shows, on podcasts like this. And he basically is extremely successful. And everything's going really well until a series of murders begin to happen, and they affect the higher echelon of the culinary industry, but also, within the community, there's also a stalker who's basically terrorizing people. So really, the after the first murder, the NYPD are left baffled, because these crime scenes are pretty horrific, but there's absolutely no clues left. So they have to enlist assistance from the FBI. Once people start dropping like flies, the NYPD are like, okay, well, we know of someone in LA, Isabella Ashford, FBI agent, who has, a special talent, and maybe she can help us. And this special talent, as people would learn of if you read my very first book, Foresight, her background is she's actually Mexican. And she has a twin brother. And in 1985, there was an earthquake in Mexico City, and her family perishes. She and her brother survive and then get adopted and come to the United States. In the earthquake, she sustains a head injury, which kind of opens up her third eye. So she basically has visions through dreams. So she has quite a foresight and very strong instinct. So she gets enlisted. So she comes across from sunny California to the cold winter of New York City, and I understand there's a few blizzards there of late, to help. And she does use, her special skill that really no one really knows about, but also coupled with, forensic sciences and the proper process of, working a crime scene and investigating a murder or murders. So I won't say any more, because otherwise I'll tell you everything. So
you got to be careful with novels. People always ask me, they're like, how come the novel interviews are so short? I'm like, well, we can't talk about the middle or the ending, otherwise we give it away. And you gotta buy the book to find out. Maybe we should do a podcast where we spoil the endings of books or something for people.
Oh, that would be hilarious. Or maybe give them false endings.
You
still have to read the book, because you don't know if the ending's correct or not.
Yeah, we can have authors come on and they could give us 2 or 3 variations of the ending, and maybe none of them are.
That would be awesome.
And yeah, it's kind of like, don't they do that in Hollywood where they put up fake scripts to throw people who leak scripts off? They
Yeah,
put up fake
yeah.
ones. Yeah, that'd be kind of something. And maybe more people would be into that. They're like, I have to find out. It will haunt me unless I know. So now this character's name is Isabella Ashford. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah.
There you go. And her job is to hunt down this killer and all this stuff. When your father was like, "Oh, you want to do a recipe book there, Monique?" and you're like, "No, I want to do something about murder."
Yeah.
Be like, somewhere I screwed up with.
Slicing and dicing, literally.
What did I do wrong as a father? But he loves your books, evidently. So there you go. Right?
Yeah, he does. He likes
Yeah.
reading them, and that's kind of how I started writing again. Because when I was a youngster, I used to write short stories,
Oh, really?
and then when my dad retired from the, from the service, he was in the diplomatic service. So he basically decided to start writing fiction,
Mhm.
and to keep the gray cells active.
Oh, yeah.
And he would give me, his bits of chapter, and he said, "What do you think about this?" And I'd give him ideas, and he's like, "Oh, you always want someone to die within the first 3 chapters, don't you?" And I'm like, "Well, you have to have a hook. You have to entice someone. It has
That's
to be."
true.
So he took some of my advice on board, some of it, not all.
Huh.
Um,
Now, how
but
old
he's
were
very
you at this time?
successful. I would have been. This would have been like 15 years ago. He started
Oh,
writing.
oh,
So he was well into his late 60s, early 70s,
okay.
and that's how I kind of rekindled. Well, one day maybe I'll start writing. And I was on a holiday in Alaska. This is 2017. I was with my husband, and it's beautiful there, and the scenery. And I remember thinking to myself as we were approaching with the cruise ship to get off one of the little ports. And I remember thinking, gosh, if you were a fugitive, you could get lost here. No one would find you. And that thought spurred an idea of a potential novel.
Wow. Sometimes that's all it takes, isn't it?
Hmm. But mine are short. My books are short. So people might think, oh my gosh, you know, uh, people get discouraged sometimes. They look at a book and they're like, this weighs 3 kilos, and it's thick. Mine are short, fast paced because I like to cater for people who do like reading but don't have an awful lot of time. So that's kind of how I sort of pitch my work to people.
There you go. I mean, that's kind of the way it's going. I mean, so many people, they've got such a short attention span. They like these short novels, the beach reads, I think some of them are called, in romance. And then yeah, it's just kind of the thing. I mean, it's kind of funny. I had a guy, I think earlier today, who was on the show, who wrote a book with 1,000 pages, and it was more of a businessy book. But I was like, yeah, you could probably cut that into 4.
Mm, mm,
I don't know. So
yeah.
there you go. Now, in this book, I know you have other books. We'll talk about them here in a second. But do you see this potentially becoming a series with this character?
Well, this is kind of Isabella Ashford is part of a series. So the Ashford series entails Foresight, followed by Hunted,
Hmm.
and they kind of go together. And then there's Once is Never Enough, and
Hmm.
that's about a female serial killer who's an
Hmm.
airline hostess who finds her prey at work and kills them at play
I'm
in their hotel rooms. So
ah.
Once is never enough, followed by Hidden and Requital. So that's a trilogy. And this one still has Isabella Ashford, but it's not part of a series. It's a standalone book.
Yeah. That's a great plot. A killer airline stewardess attendant.
Mm,
Because I mean they're always moving around, right? You'd
yeah,
be
that's
hard to be like,
absolutely.
hey, where's that person? I've dated a couple of flight stewardesses. Yeah, they could definitely be serial killers. I mean, I'm gonna be nicer to them on the flights. I think maybe I'll tip or something. Well, they don't let you tip, but no, that would be a perfect thing because they're there and gone. People are like, hey, did you see who the hell was around here? And they're just zip zap, and then they're in another city, and sometimes my girlfriends were in 2 or 3 cities in a year, in a day, and so yeah, I mean, for all I know, they're out killing people. I'll have to check on that.
And they're trusted. You know, you
Yeah,
trust
you trust
the
them, you
person
know?
serving you a drink or serving you food
Oh,
or. Yeah, absolutely. And
yeah.
she's very attractive and very, you know, very much a sociopath. So, but she's very skilled. She knows lots of languages as well. So
Hmm.
she's. Mm.
There you go. So you have how many books do you have total, so people know what to shop for out there?
I've got 9. So The House of
Okay.
Gourmet is my latest publication. Yeah.
Okay. And then there's just one that's a series. Is that correct? One set that's a series.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And then do you see any more coming from the series that you have? People love these series things. They love to follow the characters, I guess.
Yeah. I've got sort of a little bit of an idea for a
Hmm.
next book.
Hmm.
Um, but again, I'm still sort of filtering through what it's really going to be about.
Ah.
Sometimes you get ideas, but you don't quite know where they fit in the ether in your
Hmm.
world. And then as time passes, usually it's really ironic because every time I go on a sort of long trip, I tend to get ideas. I
There
don't know
you go.
why. They just kind of maybe just sitting in the plane, being bored. Just my mind just turns over.
I think of Murder on the Plane sometimes too. Murder plots on the planes too. Not that I would ever do it, folks, but I really hate the process of flying in TSA and stuff. It used to be so wonderful before that. Uh, and then when you're sitting on the tarmac for 2 hours where they're trying to weigh the plane and everything, and they're like, some people got to get off. You're just like, all right, well, there might be some murder that might take place. And I'm just kidding, folks. Don't call the TSA on me. But I mean, sometimes you just that, or you sit by someone who's really awful. Maybe I'm the awful one. I don't know. It could be that. So, when did you said that very early on you're writing little short stories? I think it was. What was it that inspired you? Did you just find you had a knack for it, or were there authors that you were maybe reading at that
Yeah.
age?
So, well, what inspired me? So, when I was like a youngster, like a
Hmm.
teenager or young teenager, what inspired me was I loved Agatha Christie, loved reading her books.
Ah.
And there were some films, pardon me, some films also on TV that, like The Mirror Cracked and the various
Hmm.
Poirot sort of series, as well as the Miss Marple series.
Ah.
So that kind of just started. And I've always written short stories that were crime related.
Ah.
So that was way back then. So you can already imagine where my mind was headed, 40 years down the track. So, but however, during COVID, ironically,
Hmm.
um, when everything shut down and you really start to think about the world and what's coming next, really,
Hmm.
I decided to just venture a little bit and explore writing short stories
Hmm.
of different genres. So there's humor, there's romance, there's drama, there's paranormal. Those are contained in my little book called Diversity.
Hmm.
So that book has a whole host of short stories, very short stories, of different genres that you can read, in a few minutes. You can read one in a few minutes while you're
Hmm.
waiting for your laundry to dry or something,
No.
or the pasta water to boil. So it's pretty, they're quite, and I actually enjoyed it because it sort of took my mind and expanded my imagination into a slightly different arena.
Hmm.
So, but I don't know if I would write a book like a full romance kind of book. I mean, there is a little bit of romance, and
Hmm.
relationship stuff within all my books, but
Hmm.
it's not like I don't think I'd really write like a Danielle Steele beautiful romantic novel. That's just not me.
There you go. It's got to have murder, and is normally your characters, your protagonists, are they female usually?
Well, no, it varies. Some male,
Okay,
some female.
all
Yeah,
right, but everyone's usually sociopathic.
yeah, yeah.
There you go. There you go. Well, who hurt you? No, I'm just kidding. I, I think it's funny that story that you called your dad, and yeah, he thinks you're going to want to write a recipe book, and you're like, no, it's going to be murder. We went from putting flour in things to the other, but no, it's great. We had so many great book authors that came out of COVID. I almost wish it would happen again because for like several years there, we just had a dearth of all these wonderful authors, and it seems to have slowed down more. Maybe we need another pandemic.
I hope not.
Yeah, we don't need that. Yeah.
Maybe we
No,
need a really bad blizzard and everyone stays indoors.
there you
And,
go.
and but the internet doesn't get cut off. That's the important thing.
There you
Otherwise,
go.
You
And I think
need
it's
to
interesting.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I think it's interesting when you tend to get your ideas when you travel. A lot of the novelists that we have on the show, one of the secrets they always tell me is if I want a vacation in France, I get the book publisher to pay for it because I'm doing research for the book.
Mm.
I'm like, damn it, I need to start writing fiction. What the hell?
Yeah. Well, I'm self-published, so I don't have that
go.
luxury. Yeah.
There you go. Well, are you married?
Yeah, married, no
Get your
kids.
husband to pay for it. No, I'm just teasing. There you go. Does your husband you write these books about sociopathic murder? Does your husband ever kind of keep one eye open at night, maybe?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't read my books. Yeah. Oh, he'll start and then he'll get distracted by doing something else. So, yeah.
There you
But
go.
I tell him what it's about, and I tell him what to watch out for. No, he's a good man. He's a very good man.
There you go. Note to self: never upset the wife. She's there's lots of I think I had a few girlfriends out there that they love those slasher shows, or what was it, it's the ones where they have to solve the murders. There's a whole series of them here in America. I don't know if you guys have them down there in Australia, but it's basically they're crime solvers, FBI-ish, CSI, the CSI series.
CSI, yeah.
Yeah. And I just kind of look at him and be like, I'm never going to upset you to the point you have to murder me, or at least I'm going to try not to. So I think she's seen 500 episodes. She knows every way to take me out. So what's the future hold for you? Are there any future books on the horizon yet? I might have asked you that, or you might have alluded to that.
Yeah, so I've got a kernel of an idea, but I'm not entirely sure yet.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm working towards is getting a couple of my books reviewed for film adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
That's really my end goal.
There you go.
So yeah, I'm not a screenplay writer,
Mm-hmm.
even though I have written one, but it's a very different format, and I just enjoy writing prose rather than just dialogue and stuff and descriptions.
There you go.
I don't know. So that's my endpoint. So that's what we're working towards. My marketing agent, Eric, and I have been collaborating for almost 6 years now. So
Wow.
it's been a journey.
There you go. Did you ever see it turning into this when you started?
No, not at all.
Isn't that cool?
No,
Isn't that
not
cool?
at all. I just thought I'd write a book and self-publish it with Tellwell Publishing. They're very good
Mm-hmm.
Canadian publishing house, and
Mm-hmm.
you're part of the whole process of the publication.
Mm-hmm.
It's very fulfilling to see the end result and to hold it in your hands. And my books are available as paperback, hard copy, as well as ebook and Kindle. So if you go on my website, it'll tell you where you can buy them in what format. So, and they're available on Amazon, and it's
There you go. And just wonderful stuff. I mean, it's so great. There was a lot of darkness in COVID, and to see things come out of it that did it. And all these novelists, and it's never too late to start too. I mean, I've had people on the show that have started later in life after they kind of did their things. And how do your characters come to you? Does the story come to you? Do the characters haunt you? I have some novelists on the show where the characters pretty much harass them to write the book.
Well, that's interesting. I'm sure that can happen. Usually, I get an idea, okay,
Mhm.
and then with that idea, I sort of think about, okay, well, with this idea, I need this kind of character, and this kind of character. And usually I start off with 3 characters,
Mm-hmm.
3 sort of main sort of characters. And then basically I sort of think about how they would fit into the story. And then as I develop the plot, and I usually do that on paper because I'm still a little bit old school.
Mm-hmm.
Then basically I weave in, different other characters, where as needed. But the main characters, the important thing is for me to think about what their role they're going to play. Are they going to live or die? and what personal characteristics. And with that, then I have to think about what am I going to call them. So, for example, if you're thinking about someone in the fine dining French culinary industry, with a bit of French background, who's well established, comes from good standing. Sort of think about what name exudes success. And for me, the first name that came to mind, I just sort of write random names and then basically just pick one. And the one that I chose was Jacques Vargot, and it just kind of flows off your tongue, So that's kind of the process for me.
There you go. Do you use like some people try and write an hour a day. Some people, lock themselves away and just pound on the keyboard there. What sort of process do you use to be consistent and keep yourself on point?
Okay.
Writing.
So once I've got everything mapped out and I can see it and it's in my head, I kind of have to be in the mood to start writing. And it's kind of weird. I mean, like this last one, it took me 3 months to start writing. I wasn't quite in the mood, So it's a strange way. You just have an inner knowing, okay, now's the right time. I know it sounds bizarre. So I sat down and wrote the prologue. Okay. So and then what usually happens once I've written that, I basically am in already. It's like, I don't know. It's like a machine. You turn the machine on and it starts building, and then it's like a bit of a train. And I just start and I just continue. But I don't write every day. I might write a couple of hours, 2 or 3 times a week. But the thing is that once that inertia of getting down to it has been overcome, I just find it easy just to continue, and then it just starts to flow, and so it literally took me total of 5 months to write the House of Gourmet, from start the first draft, and then basically then comes the editing. I do my own editing, and then several edits. And then basically I'll send it to my editor and she'll give me some feedback, constructive feedback, and then we'll work on that. So usually it takes about 7-8 months for my book to actually reach the publication phase. Yeah.
There you go. Well, you've got a system down. It's one of those things. I mean, I always call it eat the elephant one bite at a time. Anytime I've got some massive thing that I have got to do, and it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of effort and time. Sometimes I do kind of what you talked about, where I just I'll take a bite here, I'll take a bite there, and and then eventually you just kind of get in the flow of it, and pretty soon you ate the elephant.
Yeah.
Just make sure you cook them first, because
what makes it
kind of tough.
What makes it easy for me is once I've got a chapter or scene in my mind, I see it in my mind like probably a director would see it, directing a movie. And so the visual, I just transform basically onto the keyboard. So and that's what makes it easy.
There you go. You're in Australia, and I have lots of great friends. I have a bunch of gaming friends that I play with almost daily in Australia, and it's such a beautiful country down there. We've had probably 500 Australians on the show, I think, maybe 300. We've had a lot, and you folks are so wonderful down there. You guys are like basically the nice folks, like the folks in Canada. I think you guys are somehow aligned or something. But the nicest folks are Canadians, Canadians and Australians. Have you ever thought about writing some down there? And the Sydney has got that beautiful opera house, and there's all sorts of animals that can murder you down there.
Yeah, no. And probably, I don't know. I mean, it's nothing really. I love it here. I'm Australian, Australian. But I don't know. I've always kind of gravitated towards, North America. I just have, probably because I lived in Canada when I was, a very young child. We traveled around with Dad's job. Vancouver is where we were for 2-3 years. I was young, I can't remember. And then obviously I've traveled to the US, various places. I haven't gone to New York yet. That's next on my bucket list.
Yeah.
So it's really, I don't know, I just seem to gravitate towards North America. So I don't know. And maybe growing up again, watching movies, all
Mm-hmm.
these beautiful, American, movies, like
Mm-hmm.
Talented Mr. Ripley, Fatal Attraction, you can just,
Mm-hmm.
the list is endless,
Yeah.
Panic Room. And it's almost like, it's a little bit like a magnet. I've always, tended to gravitate towards that part of the world.
There you go. I mean, Fatal Attraction, that was a hell of a sociopathic movie.
Oh yes, yes. With borderline personality
Oh,
disorder, that one.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was.
But in my books, I do take people traveling, if you will. So you will, especially in the trilogy, Once is Never Enough and Hidden and Requital. There's a cat and mouse chase, and I do take people around the world, to various parts of Europe, to also Greece and other sort of areas. So I do sort of give them a little bit of a journey.
There you go. Well, I look forward to when you come to New York because it's such a it's such an interesting place of grittiness, of denseness, of stories. I mean, you can walk down the sidewalk and you can see so many different people from so many different avenues of life, all sorts of normalness and weirdness, and it's a wild place. Probably be
And
rich for ideas.
yeah, like I said, I don't know. I just thought New York was just I always, when I think of New York, I think of Manhattan and
Ah,
the Diamond District and all
oh,
the luxury penthouses and the Lady
mhm.
Liberty.
Ah,
So yeah, that's kind of why it inspired me to write about, like,
yeah.
to have this
The
story.
Lady Liberty, what if we had a murder where someone gets thrown out? Can you still open the windows at the top of the Lady Liberty? I don't know if you can jump out. They probably sealed it off or something. But I think you
Okay.
used to be able to see out the Lady Liberty top of it. Maybe someone throws somebody off the top of that, or they jump. That might be a series. I don't know. Anyway,
Mm.
hopefully, some of my audience is going to write a book and make $1 million off that. So, Monique, anything more you want to tell us about what you have coming up and what's going on with your life in the future books?
Um,
Things like that.
well, I'm about to embark on a trip to
Mm-hmm.
this, actually leaving this Saturday, a trip to Italy,
Ah.
to sort some things out in Rome
Mm.
and with my family, and
Mhm.
um, and then my husband and I will venture off for a few days to the Netherlands, go visit
Ah,
Amsterdam, and then up to Denmark and visit Copenhagen. And I'm fascinated with the castles over there, so I might get some
ah,
ideas.
there you
Um,
go.
having said that, one of my books is called Facets of the Past,
Mhm.
and that takes place in Bavaria, in Germany.
Mhm.
Um, and it is about a murder paranormal experience
Mhm.
around a castle, the Starnberg Castle,
Mhm.
that was home to the late King Ludwig II, who was the Mad King of Bavaria.
Ah,
So if you're interested in a castle mystery and paranormal, then you check that one out. It's called Facets of the Past.
there you go. And hopefully, maybe some good stuff will come out of your travels there, visiting those other castles.
Yeah, yeah, I
There's all
hope so.
sorts of. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
you
get a
never
lot of
know.
historical fiction people on the show
Mm.
too, where they take some of those old castles, those old English, old Scottish, Scotland things, and they make different. They take the history and then they just loosely interpret it a little bit. I don't know if that's your speed, but it's always kind of interesting what people do with it. So
Hmm.
yeah, there you go. Well, as we go out, give people a final pitch out to pick up your book and .coms where they can find you on the interwebs.
So you can find my website, moniquegliozzi.com. That's MoniqueGliozzi.com, all lowercase. That's my website. And then it's monique.gliozzi@bigpond.com. That's my email address, so we can communicate.
There you go. And I mean, it's probably great. You'll have feedback from your audience, I'm sure.
That'd be great.
Or some of the audience, some of the feedback you get, maybe not all. There's always those trolls out there. I love the people who they write hateful reviews on books and stuff, and you're like, "Did you read the book?" No, I just kind of saw it online and threw hated it. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Could you at least read a book? Come on, people. Anyway, guys, pick up her book wherever fine books are sold. It is entitled The House of Gourmet, A Dangerous Game Special Agent Isabella Ashford Crime Series, out September 22nd, 2025. And thanks for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, linkedin.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss 1 on the TikTok, and all those crazy places on the internet. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to the most amazing, intelligent podcast ever made to improve your brain and your life. Warning, consuming too much of the Chris Voss Show podcast can lead to people thinking you're smarter, younger, and irresistible sexy. Consume in regularly moderated amounts. Consult a doctor for any resulting brain bleed.